Moving to segment number 2 of our May Partyfest 2021. This is all about the ship is coming in. The boat is here. We are ready to anchor your success and take that party boat sailing to Income Island. Parties are alive and well and healthy and happy, and we get to bring to you the best experts I know in the industry, from coaches to training, Neil and Dana Phillips. Let's go find them in the audience. Welcome back, Dana.
Hi, everybody. Oh, that's just great. We're so happy to be back here. And it was great to see 33, 11 people make the 33 challenge. That is amazing. That's wonderful. And you know what? I think what I remember more than anything else is that you are taking that service approach. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about helping people experience Jafra, helping people get it in their hands, on their face, get it, be able to enjoy the fragrances that are amazing. And that's the service approach. When you do that, you are going to have some fantastic results. Now, let me share with you, some of you are already in this, but there are still a lot of you who are not in our free Facebook group. And this group is filled with tips and 5-minute videos. On Tuesday, on Friday, there's articles they're sharing. It's awesome. I just put the link in the chat, so join us because it is fantastic. And that's all I'm going to say about it right now. You have told us we want more new people. We need 20,000 people by August to hit 65,000. How are you going to meet 20,000 people? Well, you're not going to meet them one by one. You're going to meet them with the power of the party, because when you have one hostess with 8 people, you're going to recruit. When you have one hostess with 20 people on an online party, you are going to recruit. But not only recruit, you're going to sell, you're going to book more, you're going to have a thriving business. Those are the magic numbers. Write them down one more time, 8 and 20. 8 is the best number to have in an in-home demonstration or at a park or at a restaurant or at a Panera. 8 people is awesome to have. 20 is like the bar for Facebook groups and for Zooms, because then you know you're going to have sales, you know you're going to get new recruits. And key is 3 connections a day. You heard people talking about being consistent, and I'm going to define what consistent is. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, it's those 3 connections every single day. Can I get an amen? Because those aren't just reaching out and sending a text. Those aren't just doing a video. Those are connecting with 3 people a day to invite them to experience Jafra. Whether you are experiencing Jafra in a small group, in a Facebook group, in a Zoom, in a messenger chat, in a pop-up, whatever way, or even one-on-one. But I will tell you what, if she's going to experience one-on-one, wouldn't you love to have your friends come experience it with you? Let's make Jafra what's the word I'm looking for, Neil? Like a name that everybody knows. It's like it's on the lips of everybody, and a well-known brand instead of this little best kept secret. And so how do you do that? You explode by talking to lots and lots of people. But the consistency is 3 connections a day. So if this is true, if we know booking is the best way to go, if we all know parties, household name was the name I was looking for, thank you. If we know that, how come we're not booking more parties? And so Neil, you and I are going to kind of talk about that tonight. And we've done lots of research, and there are really only 3 reasons, aren't there, that people don't book more parties.
Right. And before I do that, I just really want to agree with Dana here. I love this 3 connections a day is consistency. That's a key to having a good business, is being consistent, and 3 connections a day is going to do that. And you know, if you had just a couple extra every month, you'll hit that 65, which is an awesome number that you're all helping to work for. So when we think about why people don't book parties, whether it's you or people on your team or new people are struggling to do it, it really comes down to 3 basic reasons. And we're going to spend quite a bit of time talking about these tonight. The first one is that I'm afraid. There's a fear associated with trying to talk to people about booking. Second is I don't know what to say. I'm not quite sure of the words to use or what to tell people. And finally is making the time to work on it. So these are three things we're going to talk about a lot tonight. So get out your pens, take some notes. If you have some questions that we don't get to, be sure and put them in the chat, and we'll make sure that they're answered before next time. So let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about fear. What are people afraid of? Why don't you ask people to book a party? Well, there's all sorts of different fears that show up here, and there's 5 of them listed on the screen. I'm afraid I'll be pushy. I hate to hear no. I'm afraid people won't like me. I'm looking for the right people to hold a party. There's too many people trying to hold parties right now. I'm afraid we'll saturate our market. I'm afraid I can't convince people. They'll think I am that person, right? Nobody wants to be that person. So we have a lot of different things that can show up as fears that prevent us from just opening our mouth to ask people. Now, let me just agree that I think these fears are very real, and I'm not going to try and tell you that they're not. Those fears are something that you've created in your head, and that makes them just as real as anything that's out there. Fear is a legitimate emotion, right? Now, I know when we're little, right, and our parents are telling us to get out there and do something, it's like, well, put on your big pants and get out there and do it, right? Just get over it, push it down, just do it anyway. And sometimes that works, but sometimes it's really more than that, because these are legitimate feelings. The thing about these feelings, though, is they're really all centered around you, right? All of these feelings are about yourself. I'm afraid. I think that people, I think that they might. I'm afraid that they will. These are all I things. These are where the fears come from. And that's the shift that we need to talk about here that can change. What really happens basically is you get this feeling of fear, and that affects your thoughts of success, and then it affects what you do. So I'm afraid people will think I'm pushy, so I'm not going to ask anybody. If I don't ask, they aren't going to think I'm pushy, and so I'm just going to wait for people to raise their hand and tell me they want to book a party. All right. I know it sounds kind of funny and exaggerated, but that's kind of the way our brain works sometimes. Feeling changes our thoughts, changes our actions. That's really what's going to go on here. Now, there is, let me just talk a little bit about the brain here. And I don't want to get too wonky here, but right down here, right above the top of the brain stem, there's a part of the brain called the amygdala. And that amygdala is where a lot of these fear feelings really originate from, and they kind of hijack what's going on. That's sometimes referred to as a lizard brain, right? It's what gets us that freeze or fright or run sort of thing. It comes from the amygdala. Now, at one point, this was probably a great thing because it kept us from being eaten by saber-toothed tigers. It's where you hear that snap in the bush or in the dark, and you go, what's that? Right? It's that sudden jump, and that's the amygdala hijack in action. Well, that still goes on even in an advanced society. That fear starts down there, and it affects the way we see ourselves, the way we think. It affects the way we breathe, our heart rate, adrenaline, all of those sorts of things, because of that fear, that feeling that starts in the amygdala. What we really have to do is take that amygdala back, take that hijack back, so that that's not going to be happening. Instead, what we have to do is put our thoughts up in that front part of the brain where we do all of our thinking. So that's really what we're going to talk about. What does that mean? Well, it means we, rather than going to the fear, to thinking, to doing, we need to change that cycle around. So we think first, and then we do, and then we feel. Right? So, for example, if you say, I have a great product to offer to people. It's not about me, it's about the service I can provide. That gets you, that's a thinking sort of thing that's going on, and it leads you to ask people to take a service approach to talk to them. And then you're going to say, hey, I survived that. It wasn't so bad. They maybe told me no, but they gave me the name of somebody else. So there's a lot of different things like that we can do. We have to go from a fear and a feeling to a thought to start out the sequence. So that's really the way to overcome the fear. So now that's just not going to happen automatically, right? Because if you're starting with this idea about they're going to think I'm pushy, it's hard it's hard to get away from that thought. What you have to do is you have to come up with a way to substitute for it. And so that's really what I want you to do. And I want you to just write down for yourself here some things that can maybe be a substitute thought to help you get rid of the fear and start with a thought. So here, for example, here's one of them. If you don't ask, it's a definite no. If I don't ask her, I'm not going to get a booking. If I don't ask, it's a definite no. That's a way to kind of change the way you're seeing the world going on out there. Now, Dana, I know you have a bunch of these things. You want to pipe in and give some other examples?
I do. There's so many things because I had to do this, Neil. And I think anybody who has ever experienced that fear has definitely had to do it. So things like telling myself and putting them on the mirror that looks up and says, if I don't ask, it's a definite no. If they say no, they're saying no to the idea, not to me. One of the best ones for me was just to say, it's not about me. If you truly want to come from a service approach and make Jafra a household name, you'll get over your pride. You'll get over your thinking that, oh, I don't want to do this. And you'll say, you know what? It's not about me. It's about the service that I offer. It's about helping other people. And when we do that, oh my goodness, we have amazing different results. So write down your own. I wrote some in there. I'm not pushy. I think, you know, if they say no, I'm not going to take it personal. If I don't ask, it's a definite no. You know, whatever it is that you want to do for yourself tonight, not in the chat, but for yourself, write down one or two of those so that you honestly will look at that every day and change your thinking here so that hijacks your amygdala there.
So that's our first reason why we don't ask, is because of the fears we have of the results that we're going to get. And those fears are very personal. So what are some other things that you can tell yourself? That's really what we've been going through here, so that you can start with thinking rather than the hijacking fear. So that's really one key thing that you can do to help get yourself to start to talk to people about the wonderful hostess opportunity that Jafra has. Now, the second reason we don't book more is because we don't know what to say. And Dana, you want to talk about some of these ideas?
I do. And I really want you to, you know, first of all, make a decision that you are going to conquer fear. We didn't ask how many of you said fear is the reason, but I bet if we did a poll right now with all of you here, fear is the biggest reason you're not doing it. It really is. And so, yeah, that's right. Janine says, if I don't give them a chance to try, they may never get the chance. And you don't want to take that opportunity away from them. So the second reason, this reason of I don't know what to say, we spent a bunch of time on this in the last class. And if you weren't at the last class, we talked about scratching their itch. We talked about the reasons that people want to book. And so all of those things, it's not just what they can get for themselves, but it's also the experience that they have with their friends. They like you and what you're teaching them. So we talked a lot about word choices, but we're going to talk about some more. This time, we're really going to focus on getting out and about, because as you are getting more and more getting out and about, you are going to find out that you need to schedule time to prepare. So whether you are a consultant, a manager, or all the way up to DD to ambassador, think about how many parties do I want to hold this month? Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 8. We have some clients who hold 12 parties a month because they know that that's how they can meet more people. 12 times 8 is 72 people a month that they're meeting. There's your 65 contacts right there, right? Because you were with people. So how do you get those kind of numbers? You have to be consistently reaching out and reaching out and reaching out. So set a goal. How much am I going to sell? I'm going to hit that 1,000. Am I going to hit that 2,000? You set that goal. And then how many parties am I going to hold? I'm going to really work to it. And when you have that, that's important. Then look at your week. And as you look at your week, you're going to be out doing some things. Nobody's just staying home 100% of the time anymore, right? So think about, where am I going this week? Maybe I'm going to one of my kids' games. Maybe I'm going to a Bible study or shopping, or I'm going to the cleaners. I'm going to go get groceries. Maybe I'm going to a network meeting. I'm going to be out and about. And maybe I'm going through fast food. You know, I would tell you, stop doing drive-throughs, stop going to the ATM, get inside the bank, get inside the restaurant, have conversations with other people who are there and people who are working there. So that's important. You want to make that list of where am I going to be this week and devote time to that in your personal schedule. So then you put your antennas on and you be intentional and you are on the go. So let's talk about being on the go. It's really good to be prepared, isn't it? Have an office in your bag, have a party in a box so that you can get up and go. And I'm going to tell you what those are right now. Here's your office in a bag. You're going to have your brochures, your catalogs. If you've got host packets that you can put together for people, you're going to have recruiting packets. You're going to have door prize slips, and I'll talk about that in a second. You're going to have some samples, and you're going to maybe have some contact lists so you can stop by and text and say, hey, I'm in your neighborhood. Can I stop by and show you what is new? Do you know how many people have not seen Defy? I know you know it's been around for a long time, but you know what? It is unheard of even with your customers who get the brochures, even people that bought from you. It's still a new product because it came out in the middle of the pandemic, remember? And so Defy is one of the best things that you can do. That's why I'm going to defy you to have Defy parties this week, whether they are just pop-ups, a girl and three more, you, me, and a friend. I don't care, but we're going to be sharing Defy in groups, as many groups as we can this month. So that's what you want to have in your office in a bag. So you're always ready to share no matter what. But the other thing that you want to do is you want to be able to have a party in a box. Now those sample kits are going to be awesome. Those are great. Those will work. But be prepared to have some Defy on hand and have that with you. So you've got a party in a box. You could carry that party in a box to the girls that are getting together at Panera and come on in and share it right there without a whole bunch of work, without a whole bunch of craziness. You can let them sample that for sure. And we've got some great specials for you to use for that. Neil, I think one of the things that we saw, and these, you guys know this, right? These are the samples that you can get, the May Host bundle for 73% off, and you can definitely use that. That trio would be great for a sooner booking to say, you know, if you book your party sooner instead of later, you can have this free from me because that's not real expensive. And that's an extra incentive to create urgency. So a sooner party is have it sooner instead of later. And that one is really good. Okay, now next one is you want to think about pampering you and a few friends. Defy will defy the aging process, right? And so think about there is some great stuff that is on sale, but when you host, you're going to get this amazing bundle at a huge discount, and you'll have the opportunity to share and experience the Defy with all of your friends. And that's fun. That's exciting. Now, if you're saying to yourself, but I'm still just booking online, you definitely can do that and book online. There's absolutely no problem doing that because at the same time, many of you are already like sending samples out to people from guests who RSVP. So they have the opportunity to do it right on Zoom too. And I think that's a brilliant idea. So may I pamper you and a few of your friends because that's the next slide, because we have the most amazing sale that's going on Defy, and they will want to take advantage of that. Now, of course, after they see you and after they see all the stuff and after they see the specials and they know they have three choices, they could just purchase, they could book another party, or OMG, they could get all of those sets, invest $600 and make a boatload of money. You know, we don't want to just recruit people just to enroll them and have them sit and do nothing. We want them out there sharing the product too. Now, here's a new thought. Some of you have not done this, but I'm going to share it with you. It's called a blessing party. And I want you to think, who do you know that needs a blessing? Do you have one of your friends that maybe she's a school teacher and she has just worked her tail off this year trying to do online, and she's tried to do online school, plus being in the classroom. Maybe you know a healthcare professional and she has just worked so hard this last year. She needs a blessing. Maybe it's your pastor's wife who needs a blessing. Maybe it's that young mom who has little toddlers and she needs a blessing. Here's what a blessing party is. you pick somebody that you want to bless, and you talk about the people around her and say to them, you know what, Susie needs a blessing. And if we do a Jaffer get together for her, our Jaffer lady will come in and she will share all of the products. We'll do a little pampering, we'll do a little spa. And then what we'll do is that we'll all just contribute. And, you know, you can buy stuff for yourself too, but we'll just contribute so that she can get some of these beautiful care products for herself, and we will be a blessing to her. That's a blessing party. And I'm going to tell you what, we have heard amazing stories about people who love to be blessed, but also about people who are having big parties, like the people all get together and they put in $25. There's 8 people there. $25 each. And can you imagine what a blessing that is to that gal to be able to have those $200 to be able to spend on herself, to pamper herself. It is so fun, and you can make it fun and talk about what a blessing she's been to all of them. I know that this is something that you could do. And right now, I just want you to stop and I want you to say, who do I know that deserves a blessing? Who do I know? And then go to her friends or her family and say, you know what, I've just heard of this new thing and it's called a blessing party. And we would be able to bless her, whoever it is, Susie or Mary or Megan, whoever it is. Let's do that. Let's get together in the month of May and do a blessing party for her. It is awesome. It is wonderful. Okay, so that is something that you can do to really do, to word choice. So it's all about the service approach, right, Neil?
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about fear. You have to make a decision you're going to get off fear, right? The second one is words to say. And we talked about being ready and being there to sample and having a blessing. We talked last time about itch. We talked about why people want to have parties, all of those reasons. I think, honestly, you know what to say. So if it's not fear, and if it's not words to say, this is the one that makes me the saddest. And Neil, you want to talk about it because this is really true.
This is one of those things that just kind of finds its way underneath our business. And that is, I don't make time to work on it, right? I don't make time to book parties. I don't make the time to make contacts. Now, really, the key thing I think that we need to imprint on our heads is that if it's not written down, it doesn't get done, right? Now, I know that sounds kind of funny, but you can say, oh, okay, well, I've got it in my date book that I'm going to work on Jafra an hour a day, or I'm going to work on her 2 hours a day. But now ask yourself, what do you do as you work on Jafra? My guess would be you maybe go into your VIP group and do some posts there, or you go through and look at who you might reach out to contact, or you might friend somebody so that you could start to build a relationship with them. Maybe you go back and send a message to somebody you work with. And by the time your time's up, what haven't you done? You haven't made your 3 new contacts for the day, and you haven't reached out to book some more parties. What you've done is you've been working on your business. You scheduled some time to work on Jafra, but you haven't scheduled time to work on the right pieces of your business. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about here. How you can kind of control your time a little bit differently so that you can work on the right things in your business. And one of those is booking more shows. So let's start. First thing is to set an appointment with yourself to reach out. So what you want to do is just go into your date book, whether it's you've got a week at a glance or a day at a glance, whether you do it on your phone or laptop, doesn't really matter, but look at your schedule and set an appointment with yourself. And that appointment is for you to book some shows. Now, if you had a doctor's appointment, you'd find a way to get away from the kids or the spouse or the neighbor so you could go to your doctor, right? Well, it's the same thing here. This is the lifeblood of your business that you're working on. So set an appointment with yourself, get a babysitter if you have to, tell your husband that it's an opportunity for him to spend a little time with the kids while you're on the phone for a half hour working on money for the vacation this summer. And then you can get to work on your Jafra business. Now, if necessary, you can find a way to hide. You can maybe go in the bathroom for a half an hour, right? Or maybe you can sit out in the car for a half an hour. You have a lot of different opportunities to just get away, to find the time to do your work. So set an appointment with yourself and then fulfill that appointment. Now, as I've already said, the key thing is you have to schedule it. You schedule, put things, all sorts of things in your schedule, whether it's about recruiting, working with new leaders, personal business, vacations, ball games, trips to the zoo, whatever it is. You have a lot of different things that you're going to be scheduling. So schedule your work as well as your playtime, as well as your family time, as well as your church time. Put it in your date book to schedule that work. Now, I know you schedule your appointments, right? You wouldn't dare miss an appointment. You're very responsible about your business, and you're going to make sure that you keep those appointments. Well, this is an appointment with yourself. You have to have some time where you can reach out to people. You have to have some time to follow up with people. Maybe it's to interview somebody to join your Jaffa team. So schedule that work, not just appointments, but schedule your work. Schedule the work so that you're putting in the right amount of time for your week. If it's 10 hours a week, you want to be able to look at that calendar and see that you have 10 hours scheduled. If it's more than that, look at your calendar and make sure it's scheduled. That's the important thing. If it's not written down, it won't get done. So write down the important things in your schedule and then do those. That lets you block the time for work, block the time for play, block the time to do all of those important things in your life. The last thing I wanted to say about scheduling time is to find a partner. Now, I know this sounds kind of funny, but people in sales are people-oriented, right? You don't want to sit in an office. You want to talk to people. So find a partner, somebody who's upline, downline, maybe not even related to you in terms of the business, and just say, I need an accountability partner. I want you to be that partner for me, and I'll be that person for you. Now, what are you going to do? Well, maybe it means at the beginning of the day, 8 a.m., you're going to send them a text saying, have you scheduled your time to work on booking today? Have you scheduled your time to do your 3 contacts today? So that you're starting to do that. And then at the end of the day, maybe you can reach back and say, I got mine done. How did you do? It's a chance to just text each other and hold each other accountable so that you're doing the right sort of work in the time that you have available to you. So schedule your work, work your schedule, find a partner to hold you accountable, and things will become magical in terms of how effective you are. So that's some important things we need to do to look at the 3 basic pieces about why you're not booking. Now, once you do some booking, things have to change. You have to now figure out, how do I talk to this hostess so that we have a great party? And Dana, you want to start talking about hostess coaching tonight. And I will say, before I turn it over to Dana, this is one of those topics that we'll pick up again more next time, because this is really important. The hostesses are the most important people to you. So you need to be very intentional about working with them.
You know, being intentional means that you know what you want to do and also what you want to get out of this party. And I think it's really important. I'm going to talk about both online parties, and I'm going to talk about not just online parties, but also in-person parties, because this is key to it. Your hostess is your partner in all of this. And if you're not intentional about coaching them to have a great party, you are leaving money on the table. You are leaving bonuses on the table for them to be able to be like a royal, to hit the royal level and have that great party. And you're also missing the boat in terms of meeting new people and having her invite people. So just because somebody's done a million parties and we all think, oh, parties have been around forever, maybe they've never done a party with you. Maybe they did a party with you years ago and things have changed, but there are 4 key things that we're going to do. Now, one of the things that has worked extremely well in 2021 is to use Messenger to host coach, to use Messenger to host coach. And I've had people say, oh, they're not going to spend time with me. You know what? Once they book an online party, a Zoom party, once they book it, you know, they're going to have a party at their home or they're going to have it stop at Panera, then it is really important for you to say, I just need 15 minutes to help you to have your best party. It's my job to spend that time with you. Write that down. It's my job. it's my job to spend that time with you. And so, you know, on Messenger, that if somebody's on Messenger and you set that time, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit that little, here we go. I can't do this right. There we go. See that little camera? That means I can video chat her. And then I'm not sending her a list of things to do, although we do have a really cute tic-tac-toe that Jackie's going to post for everybody. But I'm not doing that. I'm going to talk to her first, because you know what? They may or may not read it, and I don't ever know. But if I'm talking to you eyeball to eyeball, I can tell that if you get it or if you don't get it. So that's important. And this has been super powerful, whether it's a live party, a Zoom party, is to use face-to-face. Messenger is the quickest way to get together with people. Okay, now, Neil, let's talk about these simple things. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible for your hostess and for you. Next slide, because now you're going to coach your host. I want you to think, what are you going to give her for $1,000 party? We all know that at a royal jelly party, right, at a $600 level, she gets this huge discount on the royal jelly, correct? Well, for a $1,000 party, you, my friend, are going to be making probably $500, right? You are going to be getting free shipping, right? So here's what I want you to think about. What are you going to give her? To me, it would be, say, I would give you all of this package of the royal jelly for free, not for that, because I'm taking some of my profit and I'm putting it into her. So she's getting these fabulous products, not for a $600 party, not for a $400 party, but a $1,000 party. Now, if I say to her $1,000 party, she may freak out a little bit, right? So I can't have $1,000 party. So instead, I want you to think about the number of orders. If an average order is $60 online, and you have 20 people ordering, that's a $1,200 party. If an average order, when you see them face to face, is closer to 200, that's a $1,200 party. So you see, think about the 8 and the 20. Think about the 8 and the 20, because we know pretty much what those average orders are, right? And the average order in person is bigger than the average online order. That's a fact. So instead of saying to her, so you're going to have $1,000 party, you say, it's so important for you to have 8 if you're doing live, or 20 if you're doing online, because when you do that, you're going to get XYZ from me. Okay. When you do that. Now, second thing I got to teach you is how to invite. So I might say, Susie, there are 2 ways you can invite. There's a wrong way and there's a right way. Which one do you want me to tell you? And they'll say, well, the right way, right? See, this is why you don't just put it in a letter and send it to her and hope to God she reads it, okay? So now you say to her, okay, here's the right way to invite them personally. Pick up the phone, text them, I'm having a party on such and such, can you come, right? That's how you invite people to a live one. And because if they can't, you're going to get outside orders. Here's the link, take a look, see if you want to shop if you can't attend. Online party, don't just click group, don't just click an event. Personally message them and say, I'm having an online party, can you come? That's the right way to invite somebody to an online party. Find out if they can come and then send them the link to invite them. I hope you all get that, okay? So tell them, I can show you the wrong way or I can show you the right way. Either way, whether it's online or whether it's personal, show them how to invite. Then if people can't come, those are the ones that you want to gather outside orders, because we have great fragrances. We have great stuff on sale. Let me show you what those things are on sale. Here's a flyer of what's on sale. Here's the link so that you can order. Just let me know when you order. Now, those are the first 3. The fourth one is simply this. And do you know what, Susie? It's my job to tell you about the Jaffrey party, because this party could be your grand opening, your launch into the business. And so let me just tell you the 4 fun facts about Jaffrey. First of all, the finances. We can make between 30 and 50% on sales. That's amazing. That's the finances. And as you build a team, you can make even more money with bonuses and 11%. Second, it's fun. There's never been more fun, and having the friendship that I have with this company, and and you could talk about the sisterhood that there is, or the friends that you've made. Third, it's flexible. You work and you work when you want to, not by somebody telling you when you have to work. And so there is flexibility. And then finally, the last thing is there is so much free stuff that we get. We have a program called VIP that when you just place a $400 every month, there's always free stuff. There's always free things for sponsoring people. There's free things for selling so much. It's amazing all the free stuff we get. So those are the 4 F's. And I don't know if you've ever thought about starting a business of your own, but if you do, we can make this your party and the bookings that we get will go for you. So I just don't want to deprive you of the chance to start your own Jaffra business. That's how you do it. So those 4 things are the key to host coaching. They are super, super important. Okay, Neil, that's what I wanted to tell him. You want to share anything else?
Yes. I want to share a special offer. Now, we did that last time, and I just want to make sure that you know that it's still available for you. This is Team Connections Pro that we're talking about here. What is Team Connections Pro? Well, that's our membership site. If you're in Team Connections Pro, you have access to almost everything that we produce. There's always new things going in there. There was a video that we put in a couple months ago that we're hearing a lot of raves about, which is managing transitions. As you're going through changes in your business because of COVID or because of company changes, there's all sorts of transitions you have to manage, and that's really a very popular one. But there are some fundamental pieces there as well, such as how do you recruit online? How do you decide who gets your time? How do you coach people on your team? And all of these sorts of things that we talked about here tonight, like booking and selling and sponsoring. There's just a ton of material on all the key topics. Time management as well is a major issue for people. So those are all in Team Connections Pro. They're all available to you in all sorts of different formats. On top of that, there's really a very important piece, which is you get 2 personal coaching calls every month. That's with either me or with Dana. That really helps you focus in on your goals. So if you get a call and say, this is what I'm trying to figure out, how do I add 3 people to my team this month? We'll focus in on that to get you out the door, get you into action, help you figure out what you haven't been doing or what you've been doing that you can improve on so that you get those activities, getting the results that you want them to. So 2 personal coaching calls every month, access to all of our materials. So there's a lot of things there. This shows you some of the other things that we have available. Now, normally this is $47 a month, but because of what we're doing with Jaffra, this is only going to be $20 a month. There's no long-term subscriptions. You can join for a month if you say, this isn't what I want. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm not finding the right things here for me. Then you can leave and there's no other expense. $20 a month is 3 to 4 stops at Starbucks. That can't get a much better opportunity for that. Now, the link is here on the slide, and I think Dan is putting it in the chat as well. Just do that. You can join us. It'll be $20 a month. Come in when you're ready. You can leave when you're ready as well. And in between, you get the benefits of everything that we've done. So anything else you want to add at this point, Dana?
Nope, I'm putting the link in there. Here's what I am asking people to do. Try it for a month. Spend the $20, try it for a month. It's easy in, easy out. There's no contracts you can cancel. There is so much information in there. Where else could you get a private coach for $20? Okay. And I think you would love it, especially if you want to grow your business. Now, if you don't want to coach with us, you don't have to. You can just got access for 1 month to all 12 ebooks, to all of the hundreds of handouts, to, I think there are, I don't know, over 100 hours of audios that are in there and on all different topics. So that's all I'm going to say. I think, try it for a month and see what you've got. There's a lot of people saying absolutely that they use it a lot, and that's great. So I will put it up there one more time.
So thanks for sharing your time tonight, and we'll turn this back to Jackie.